Baba has given us the awareness that we are creators. And today Baba is teaching us a very interesting creation of the past. You see, the past is created in the present. Yes, this present moment, you are creating the past. So this present moment, when it fades away, it becomes the past. So people say, that devils of the past haunt you. But why do devils of the past haunt you? Because you're not careful in the present. And when you're not careful in the present, and when that present becomes the past, then you can't change it. You can't do anything about it. And then you keep repenting it. You keep feeling different kinds of emotions about it. And these emotions take the form of devils that eat at your heart. So Baba says that, and you see, the past, although it's a very interesting dimension, that it doesn't exist in the moment, but it exists in our awareness. And our awareness is always pulled by the past. So it's very important that before the present slips into the past, you take care that you create a good, you do something in the present which when becomes the past, you're proud of it. So, and I think, even if you have not been taking care of all your present moments, and you have a baggage inside you, which you call the past, which doesn't make you feel very good about yourself, now is the time to rewrite on it. And how do you rewrite on it? When you pay attention to every present moment and then slowly it fades into the past, then you will have a different account of your past. So this is something that Baba is telling us. And you see, people say past is past. And Baba says, yes, of course, every second will slip into the past before you know it. And every second, every scene is just passing. But you have to pay attention to pass every second, every scene with honors. So that when it becomes your past and you take your awareness to your past, that past doesn't feel like a ghost which is coming to eat you up. So Baba says, pass with honors in every scene, in every second. So you see that there are two things that happen in every scene. One is what is happening to you, and the second is how you're responding to it. Right? Now, if you are not aptly responding to it, then you only remember what happened to you. Right? But if you are aptly responding to it, you remember how you responded, not what happened. This is the beauty of every scene that's present in the drama. Yes, I remember there was this one kid, and he was playing some game, and after the game his nani brought him to the center. So I asked him, what did you do? So what was the game all about? Share something. So he said, my team members were doing foul play, but I did not allow them to mess with me. I gave them a very good fight. And I asked him, what did they do? So he said, no, you leave that. I'll tell you what I did. And I taught them a lesson. And they were coming from this side, and I ran the other way, and then I messed up their intent or whatever they were trying to do. And they are now in great fear of me. So you see, it's a little kid, but he's not interested anymore in what happened. He's interested in what he did, because he did it beautifully. So Baba says that if you look at the way we are looking at a past, it's mostly about what happened to us. Why? Because we did not have the knowledge and the power to respond appropriately to anything. So we only remember what they did, what happened, what transpired. But Baba says, now that you are knowledgeful, now that you have access to, or you have a relationship with the ocean of knowledge, ocean of virtues, ocean of powers, you always maintain that knowledgeful, virtuous, powerful stage. And in that stage, when you respond to every scene, then every second and every scene you pass with honors. And when you pass with honors, then the record of your past that's being recorded in you, that is something that gives you happiness, not something that gives you sorrow. Yes, many people say that the past is a great source of sorrow. But why? Because when the present moment is available, we don't take care to respond appropriately. And that's why when it becomes the past, it becomes something that gives us sorrow. But if you pass with honors in every scene and second, then that past which is recorded in you, which you record by virtue of your actions, that will be a source of happiness. And Baba says that whenever you look at that past, you will have this song of Vah Vaha. Yes, you will feel pride, you will feel great pride about yourself. You will feel great self-respect about yourself, about how you dealt with things. And I think, when you deal with every situation in a pass with honors manner, then your past becomes a source of inspiration for you also. And when something comes up, then you look at your past and you tell yourself that, oh, this is such a tiny thing compared to what I have crossed beautifully. So I can deal with this very beautifully. So Baba says, do this seva for yourself. And then Baba says, when you do this for yourself, it also becomes an inspiration for others. And they also feel inspired by how you passed every scene with pass with honors. And many people are going through the same thing while you're going through it. And when they look at how you crossed it, they also feel inspired about it. So this is something, and I will tell you, I remember there was this one class by Dadi Janki. And in that class, Janki Dadiji was giving an account of the early days of the yajna. And we all understand that when the yajna was in the early days, then things were not easy. There was a lot of struggle, and there was a lot of the things were not structured and easy. So there was a lot of tapasya and struggle involved. But when Dadi was giving an account of the early days of the yajna, the way she was giving that account was, it was the best time of her life, and it was happy moments with Baba, and it was, very nice meeting with Baba, and it was all hunky dory. And when I was listening to that class, then I had this thought that, how can Dadi talk about those days with such happiness? Because, of course, there was a lot of struggle and pain and effort in those days. So, how can Dadi talk so happily and beautifully about it? So, there was this one sister, and I was into my early days. So, I asked her, why doesn't Dadi talk about the struggles and the pain and the effort that happened there? So she told me that Dadi remembers only the good. Dadi doesn't remember all of that. So I said, how can you not remember that? We only remember the struggles and the pain and the effort. So I told her, I don't know how somebody cannot remember the pain and struggle and only remember the good. So she said, that's a conscious choice you make. So that was a very enlightening moment for me. And I thought about it that you can actually change a record of your past also, by how you approach what's happening in the present. You are also writing your script. When you look back at it, it will be the past, but you're actually writing that script in the present. And I told her that I don't know if I understand all that you're saying, but one day I would love to understand this and do this. That, you write a story about your past the way you want to look at it, not the way it's happening. So, and anyways, any record is very subjective. So it's always, an account of how you looked at it vis-a-vis what happened to you. So Dadi also, when Dadis, not only Janki Dadiji, but every Dadi, you listen to the stories of the past, and you feel like, you should have been there. And I don't know how many of us would have survived at that time, because it was a time of great effort. But you see how because they imbibed what Baba was saying, so they passed every scene with pass with honors. And that has become an inspiration today. When we listen to the account of the yajna about the past, we feel very inspired about how big battles and big situations were just overcome through it looked like effortlessly they are overcome. And you see, there is one brother, and he told me once that so it was kind of a complaint he was telling me, but I will share what he told me. He has been associated with the yajna as a VIP, as somebody who is just attending programs and stuff, but he has never done the course. So he shared with me that he feels that we teach Gyan and we tell about Brahma Baba, we tell about the establishment. But he told me that, you people should publicize the stories of the women who who had, such great stories to tell about the establishment of the yajna. So he said that when I went to Mount Abu for the first time, I read this book about Hari Dadi and Gange Dadi coming to Delhi for the first time and living on the banks of the river Yamuna and starting seva there. And where they lived, that place did not have walls. It was just one roof and it was on the banks of Yamuna, and they stayed there. And you see two sisters and how they used to, it is very difficult to change clothes and stuff in such a place, but they did that, and slowly, gradually, how they received help and how slowly, gradually, seva flourished, and then how, the yajna started from Delhi. So he said that when I read that, I felt like, I wanted to do that. But on the same time, I felt it is very difficult to do that. But the way they did it is such a source of inspiration that you feel like doing it. But he said not many people have the strength to do that, but it feels so inspiring. It doesn't feel like, oh, what happened to them and it was so bad and sad. You feel inspired because of the way they did it or they crossed it. And you see, this is the beauty of how you deal with every second, and when that second fades into the past, that becomes a source of inspiration, and not just a source of inspiration, but it becomes a source of praise also. So, it's something that you sing about. It's something that you tell everybody about. And I remember there was another sister, and she was sharing her experience in one class. And in that experience, she was sharing that she met with an accident. And while she went through the accident, there were so many things that went wrong. So, there were glass shards that penetrated her face and this and that and the other. But after listening to the whole account, so she was just telling in that class how Baba was there with her at every step, and how she felt Baba's company and Baba's love and Baba's help in every scene. And at the end of the whole story, I felt like, it was not an account of accident, but an account of, having Baba's company. And that's how she looked at it. So that's the feeling I could get from the class. So that's so beautiful that when you look at something differently, you also donate that vision to others. And others are also able to look at that same or similar incidents in their lives with a different vision. And they are also able to derive happiness and inspiration and experience in those scenes, while when something similar happened in the past, they were not able to do that. So Baba says that pass every scene and every second with such pass with honors, then when your past becomes past, then also you feel that whenever your past comes into awareness, you sing the song of Vaha Vaha, and everybody who sees you also, gets inspired, and everybody who hears your story also, or shares your story, they share it like it's a praiseworthy story. Yes, so at the end, I would like to say that it doesn't matter what happened to you. How you responded is all that matters. And how you responded if you responded knowledgefully, powerfully with virtues, then you will always have great self-confidence about yourself by looking at your past. Your own past will be a source of inspiration for you. So this is something. And then Baba today talks about two virtues, very important virtues. One is humility and the second is purity, or I should say the first is purity and the second is humility. And Baba says that purity distinguishes you from others. Purity distinguishes the elevated from the not so elevated. Yes, so what makes you different and what makes you elevated is purity. So pay attention to your purity. You see, we live in a world of impurity. We live in a world where scenes, sounds, events, behaviors, they all emerge from a place of impurity. And in such a world, Baba tells us that by having yoga power, so by not having Buddhi Yoga with the old world, but by having Buddhi Yoga with Baba and making conscious choices about your thoughts, feelings and actions, you can make yourself pure. So it doesn't matter where you are, because your sanskar is created by your choice of thoughts, feelings, attitudes and actions. So Baba says that even if you live in an impure world, always have Buddhi Yoga with Baba. And when your Buddhi Yoga is with Baba, obviously your Buddhi Yoga is not with the old world. And in that situation, you take light and might from Baba, knowledge and power from Baba, and keep your thoughts, your feelings, your attitude, your action very conscious and pure in the face of many impure situations and atmospheres. Yes, so, and I think, spirituality is all about living consciously. I always think that, spirituality is conscious living. When you are living consciously and you are choosing your thoughts, feelings, attitudes and actions in alignment with your understanding and purpose of life, despite the situations and behaviors of others dictating otherwise, that is what purity is all about. And I remember, there's this one Mata, and she was sharing a very beautiful experience. She told me that I live with my mother-in-law, and she said that my mother-in-law doesn't love me, doesn't respect me. And the way she talks to me, the way she looks at me, and the way she, the way she addresses me, or the way she directs me is very derogatory all the time. But she says that, I choose to not take that, and I choose to always think about this situation as a blessing, and I choose to think that, maybe this situation is good for me, because otherwise I wouldn't learn humility. So she says that I made this choice consciously, and now my mother-in-law is not my problem. And I have chosen to keep my feelings and my thoughts and my attitude, because I have to go to Satyug despite her. I cannot wait for her and me to separate, for me to go to Satyug. Then she is dictating whether I'll go to Satyug or not. So she said, I cannot allow anybody else to decide whether I'll go to Satyug or not. So I have chosen that I am going to Satyug. I am creating Satyugi sanskars despite her. So I keep my thoughts, feelings, attitudes and actions very pure. And I always look at her as somebody who is subservient to her sanskars, and I have deep compassion and love for her also. So you see that embracing purity and isn't embracing purity is all about consciously making choices about your thoughts, feelings, attitude, actions, and also about the karma that you do. So no, you with your mind, your body, and your wealth, because your karma also makes an account of impurity accumulate. So purity is about creating thoughts, feelings, attitude, action, and purity is also about karma. So if you are doing karma, if you are engaging with impure souls and matter in an attached way, and you are creating a karmic account with the impure, then you will also have that burden of impurity even if you are not doing anything impure directly. So this is also one secret that Baba has told us, which most people don't know. And the secret is, Baba tells us that if you give money to the impure, then the burden of their impure actions will be incurred by you. Yes, so, or you eat food prepared by those who don't practice purity, then their karmic account becomes your karmic account. So these are some laws that Baba has told us, and Baba says based on the knowledge of these laws, we choose purity. So we choose purity in the way of conscious actions that come from here to there. So whatever we are creating, we choose that wisely, and also in interactions. So in interactions, we understand that there should be no exchange of body, mind, and wealth with the impure. So those who are not on the path of purity, those who are not on Srimat, we don't give our body and mind and wealth to them. So this also Baba has told us and taught us, and by paying attention to these rules, we become pure and we vibrate differently. Purity is a different vibration, it's an elevated vibration, and Baba says when you elevate yourself, then so it's purity that sets you apart from the others. You cannot set yourself apart from the others through some physical means, but purity makes you elevated, purity makes you rise above the others. So this is something. Then second is, Baba says humility. Humility is also very important, and Baba says that our purpose is to do seva. Yes, so you can do seva when you are full, so purity is important for that. But also, even when you have got something to offer, you can only offer it and do seva when you have fullness plus humility. Yes, because if you don't have humility, then you create enemies. Yes, people don't like you. And Baba says that you cannot afford to rub people the wrong way, because you are a sevadhari and you cannot afford to rub people the wrong way. And where there is arrogance, even if you don't want to or you're not aware, you keep rubbing people the wrong way. Yes, so arrogance is very subtle. So arrogance shows itself in your attitude, in your vibration, in your words, in your behavior. And when somebody gets that vibration of arrogance from you, then you and they have a disconnect. You become enemies. And you see that when somebody is not on the same page with you, then they will try to harm you. So Baba says, in order to avoid all these situations, be very conscious that you are sweet in your attitude, action. You are genuinely sweet inside out, not just that you're showing that you're sweet outside, but you have humility and sweetness, and you don't rub people the wrong way. Because you see, even if you give a jewel to somebody, but if your way of giving is throwing it at them, so you throw a jewel at somebody, will they like it? No, it's a jewel you're giving, but if you're just throwing it at them, they don't like it. So Baba says that even if when you give a jewel, you have to give it with humility so that it counts as a jewel. And if you just throw it, it's not a jewel. So humility and purity are what set you apart in this world, and then because of these two things you can serve, and then you become the one who deserves because you served. Okay, Om Shanti.